Sup nerds? I'm really looking forward to Fellowship, and I plan to make some learning focused content right here on this channel. I'm just going to quickly say up front, these are just the basics. I'm going to do a deep dive on these things later. What is Fellowship? Fellowship is aimed to create a brand new genre called a MODA. That's short for Multiplayer Online Dungeon Adventure. It's an infinitely scaling, party-based dungeon crawler, and you don't load in through an open world like an MMO. You go into the dungeons through a queuing system more like a MOBA. Here's how the game works. You start in a very cool loading menu called the Stronghold. You can run around and jump on stuff, but don't let it fool you. It's just a menu. You can pick your characters from the heroes offered, upgrade gear, tinker with talent builds, customize how your character looks. Then, you choose a dungeon to run. You load into the dungeon with 3 other players, kill mobs, bad guys, NPCs, to fill the bar, to complete the objective, and then defeat the bosses. Sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 3. Then, you grab your loot and return to the menu to prep for the next run. That's the gameplay loop. Roles and party composition. Each player has a role in the party, and your character determines which role you are and how you play that role. The game uses the Holy Trinity setup: tanks, DPS, and healer. Let's break it down. The tank is where we'll start. The tank is likely the most complex role. As a tank, you have certain jobs. The first is to set the pace and path through the dungeon. You control a system called aggro or aggression, which is basically just making sure the enemies target you and not your allies. This is a concept called threat, which is generated by all party members by dealing damage, healing, or other specific abilities. If you have more threat on a mob or bad guy than other players, those mobs will attack you. If not, it will attack them and they will likely die. Basically, the mobs are just attack whoever has the highest threat. There are visual indicators on your bars. This is the threat. Tanks also need to master damage mitigation. That means using abilities that reduce damage taken to keep yourself alive and take the pressure off the healer. The next role is a DPS role. They're much more straightforward. Your job is to do as much damage as possible, also as quickly as possible. As a DPS, you need to learn your abilities and how they interact, practice your rotation, which is basically the order in which you cast your skills. You can also do that on target dummies here before jumping into a real dungeon. They've also included a DPS meter, which will give you a lot of useful information on which abilities do how much damage, and I think really every game should have one. You also need to do what's called interrupts. Enemies will cast abilities like this, shown in a yellow bar. Every DPS and tank has an interrupt. Interrupting reduces incoming damage, helps prevent deaths, and supports your healer. Once you become more advanced, you will learn which abilities are more important to interrupt than others. That's another video. For now, just use it as often as you can. The last role is that of a healer. As a healer, your main job is to keep your team alive, either through healing or shields. But you also need to do damage when you can. Healers have a damage rotation just like a DPS, although it is much simpler. Think about it like this. If mobs die faster, they deal less damage, which is in a way healing as well. It's all about managing what is most important. As a healer, you don't get interrupts. But you do have another thing called a dispel, which you use after an enemy ability goes off. Typically these sorts of things hurt a lot and are represented like this, so you really want to try to be quick with it. You also need to learn how to manage mana. Let your tank know when you need to stop and recover. Alright, that's mostly it for the intro video. Hopefully you now understand what Fellowship is and why you might want to play it. I hope to be doing a deeper dive into each role, each game mechanic, each dungeon. I have so many plans for future videos, so keep an eye out for that. If there's something specific you want to ask, drop a comment. Alright, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.